Engage fluo injectors.
Engaging fluo injectors.
Fluo reactors at 80%, sir.
Fluo containment field is destabilizing.
Emergency fluo containment protocols now. All hands brace for impact.
Brace for impact in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to World 101 Podcast.
Choose your fighter.
I'm your host, the insightful Eddie V. Joining me is the jumping. I was gonna say Jamaican. You guys know him.
That's a good segue though.
That is true. It's the jumping Josh. How you doing?
I'm great.
Jamaican, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Mon.
My mom and dad won't know that either. That's gonna be a surprise to them.
It is the miraculous miracle himself, Mr. Michael. What's up, sir?
How you doing?
I am doing great. How you guys been? It's been a while since we've seen each other, that we even got a chance to record.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that has happened, and once again I state E3 has been suspended this year because there has been so many reveals and more that is coming. But before we get into all of that, we're going to talk about
Video games.
Josh, I'm going to start with you. What have you been playing?
So because Last of Us Part 2 is coming out, and specifically it's not called The Last of Us 2, it's called Last of Us Part 2. And I feel like I needed to replay the first game to kind of get a continuation of the story. I replayed the first Last of Us, and it took me about a good week to go through it. And I played the DLC, Left Behind DLC, for the first time. And I gotta say, I really, really enjoyed that whole experience. The Left Behind DLC was fantastic. It was different than I thought it was going to be, from the perspective of where it took place in the game. But it was an obvious, like, now that I played it, I'm like, it's an obvious place to put that DLC, and I really enjoyed it. So I really enjoyed the whole game, the whole experience, and I'm really just waiting for my copy of The Last of Us 2 to come in, which my collector's edition was delayed today at like 8 at night. I got an email saying it's coming Monday. And you know what's the funny part about this is I did all my my husbandly duties around my house. I mowed my lawn yesterday. I did everything. So now I had nothing to do on Sunday. So I'm gonna have to figure out a new game to play, or I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll start Final Fantasy VII, but it's only for one day, so I might not.
What, the remake or the?
Yeah, the remake.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been playing.
What about you, Michael? Where have you been playing?
I finally started Bayonetta 2. Like, I'm basically right now. I'm actually cleaning up, and like, I'm not 100%ing it because I'm not good enough at the game to platinum every fucking level.
Right.
That's fine.
That's a hard game.
Yeah. They made some major differences, some major tweaks between the first and the second one, and honestly, I think with what they did to it, 2 is a much better game. Like, I loved the first one. I had no idea what the fuck was going on in it.
Right.
Like, I played through that game 3 or 4 times and barely understood the story. But that's not really the point of the game. This one, they altered things, like, for instance, using items, you don't get penalized for it anymore.
No.
Like, you get penalized if you die. That's it. But just playing through the standard game, and then once I started using amiibos with it, like, it's nigh impossible to die.
Right.
Like, you have to actively be trying. Right now I'm playing on the hardest difficulty because I went through and beat hard mode just to see if I could, basically. And again, since they don't penalize you for the items, I managed it with no problems. Mm-hmm. And the secret weapon that you get for beating hard mode is the chain chomp from Mario Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like literally,
Right.
she just hooks it to her ankle, like, and if you're just standing there, it'll nip at enemies and things like that. It's actually got quite a bit of personality.
Right.
It was, as I said, really like the little bonus additions and stuff like that. The details to it, I've really enjoyed.
And the crazy thing about it is Nintendo allowed this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, like from what I understand,
that
I
is
think
crazy.
I read not a review, but an interview or something like that, that when Nintendo first approached them and they said, hey, we want to put out Bayonetta 2, they basically kind of said, like, you guys do know what Bayonetta is. She's basically a hooker Dante, right? And they're like, no, we know exactly what we're getting into. Well, then, since it was by Nintendo, they're like, hey, you guys can use Nintendo characters for costumes and whatnot. And apparently, when they first unveiled this is what the Link costume that we want to do, Nintendo actually said, make it sluttier. Like, I don't know if this is actually true, but it's been a long time since I've read this, but, like, that's kind of fantastic. And there's a minor detail that when you're using the Link costume, if you use the single-bladed sword,
Yeah.
the sword changes to the Master Sword, and she gets the shield, the Hylian shield. You can use the Samus Aran power suit, and one of the moves that you get in the game is if you start running in a direction and then double tap a certain button, she morphs into a panther. If you do that wearing the Samus suit, she goes into morph ball mode, and you can drop bombs in it and just stuff like that. Like I said, all the tiny little details are really cool.
And the thing about it is Nintendo, when they went in and checked on the game, they probably were just like, here's some ideas, let's fix this, let's tweak this. Okay, we're leaving, and then let Platinum do whatever they want.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
And like as I said, it is really well executed. As I said, since I've been playing it so much, because I'm like 4 stages away from finishing it on the Infinite Climax mode, is what the hardest mode of it is called. And like at this point, I'm ready to be done with it. Like I just want to finish. I want to finish that, and then I want to unlock the Rodan fight. I don't think I'll actually be able to beat it because I understand that apparently it's one of the most ridiculous fights in any game ever. But as I said, I just want to be able to unlock it to see it. Other than that, I think that's about it, honestly.
What did you think about the writing and the comedy in that game? Because I think that sticks out more than her sexual manners and that stuff.
It's way more what's the word I'm looking for? Accessible than the first one was.
Yeah.
Like, and as I said, like everything about it was just much better in comparison. And granted, it's been almost a decade since I went through the first one, so I may not be remembering. I may not be remembering huge parts of it. Excuse me. And then, like, as I said, I actually decided I wanted to go back through the first one after finishing this one. But my the copy of the game that I bought, I actually imported the I think it's the European like special edition with the steel case and all that.
Yeah.
So the code for the first game didn't work. So like, and so I actually didn't get it, and I'm just like, it's not that big a deal. And I think they want like $25 for it, so I'm like, I don't care that much.
Because you gotta switch your system into like tricking it to
you gotta
make
do
it like a game.
Yeah, you need to do a VPN, like a VPN in the European area. Then you can claim it.
Sounds like way too much work for a game that I don't care that much about right now.
But
I can't remember if I have it on some of their system too. I think I still have like PS3 version or something.
Because the thing about it is the Switch is Miller was talking about this. I'm just like, when it comes to import games, out of all 3 consoles, out of one, PS4 and Switch, everybody's importing stuff on Switch and nothing on Xbox and PS4. It's crazy.
Well, the thing with Xbox is everything is available everywhere, so you can get it here, even if it's like a game that is exclusive to the European territories, there just isn't the presence of Xbox overseas. Now PS4, there are some. I've imported a few games for PS4, and it was just a few games because they were so expensive in the American territories that I imported their European cousins or whatever, and they're the same game. So why wouldn't
I didn't realize the PS4 wasn't region locked.
No, it's not.
Oh.
The PS4, the Switch, or the Xbox One, in fact, are not region locked.
Right. Which they shouldn't be. Like,
No.
I knew the Switch wasn't, but for some reason I thought the PS4 was.
Well, for Sony and Nintendo, and actually Microsoft, this was a big departure because they always had region locked their consoles.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever actually bought an imported game like that is when I had my PSP. I bought Breath of Fire 3, which was never released in the US for it.
Not at all.
And like I remember having no issue playing it whatsoever. Like that thing wasn't.
Well, Sony traditionally on their handhelds have not been region locked.
Yeah.
And so the PSP and the Vita are not region locked, but everything else was.
So everybody turned into an emulator and put all the Nintendo games on it.
Well, with the PSP, I mean, they did that themselves by having a super easy to hack memory card. But then they tried to lock it down with the Vita and basically killed the thing.
Yeah.
What do the Vita cartridges look like?
Oh, you want to see one?
Yeah, they didn't use the UMD system, right?
No, they switched it to cartridge. But it was stupid.
Huh, okay.
Yeah.
Looks like a Switch cartridge.
Yeah, it does.
But it was stupid because you had to have a memory stick that only Sony sold.
Yes, a proprietary memory stick, and they're expensive. Even now, I have a 64 gig one. Those things are expensive.
Because they were like $100.
Yeah, and they're still about like $98. They're not cheap.
Wow.
Yeah, and the thing, because we sold them at Toys, and the thing about it is that they sent us the system and the games,
but no stick,
no memory stick.
Right. And the 4 gigabyte one was $60 when it launched.
Yeah.
God.
And
there was no internal memory on that thing, was there?
Well, there was a little bit, a very little bit, but it was not enough to do anything with. You needed a memory card.
So while that was happening, here goes Nintendo 3DS just making games and selling.
Yep. And they launched even 3DS. If you don't remember, they launched at too high a price point, and then pulled it back. I don't know if you remember that. And they gave everybody like 5 free games and all that.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't buy a 3DS until the Metroid 2 came out.
I just bought one 2 years ago, so
yeah,
I'm not the one to ask, but I remember that happening.
Right. As I said, I bought it when Samus Returns come out. I literally don't think I've touched it since playing that. Which I have A Link Between Worlds. I still keep meaning to get to.
Oh, you got to play that. That's so
yeah.
Cool.
That's why I bought it.
I was really surprised about that game. I mean, and I'm not a big handheld guy. That's why the Switch, I don't really play the Switch in handheld mode at all.
Mm-hmm.
And Link Between Worlds, I love that. I went to a friend's house for like 4 days, and I got on a plane. I started playing that. I love that game. That game is really good. I was surprised how good it was.
We were me and my friends, we were literally talking about out of like all the stuff Nintendo, and I was just like, I think Nintendo is the only company that had handheld games be Game of the Year out of all the consoles and PC.
They are
like Link Between Worlds. Crazy how a game like that
it was so good.
Yes, it's a game. It's a Game of the Year.
It is a Game of the Year. And I'm not a handheld guy, and for me to love that game, it had to be really good, you know.
I do really wish that all handheld systems automatically had a way to play them through the television.
Yeah,
like
especially now with the Switch.
Yeah, especially like for the 3DS. Let me use the 3DS as the controller, which I'm fine with.
Right,
just put it on the television. You know?
I wish that with the Vita so bad because I have the Vita TV.
Yeah,
and I have that. I mean, it was like when I bought it was $20. Now it's like $300. It's crazy. But one thing I thought was crazy with that was like some games didn't work with the Vita TV because you needed the Vita functionality, like for example the touchpad on the back or whatever. And I go, why didn't it just make it the controller?
Yeah.
And I could use it and play those games on TV. I mean, it would have taken off because like Uncharted Golden Abyss. I mean, look, I'm not a big Uncharted guy, but that game hooked me. That game was the best Uncharted game I ever played. And
I've
it
never
was because
tried
it
the Uncharted.
has Vita. Well, it has Vita functionality. It was the first Uncharted game I played. And then after that, I said, "Oh, if they're this good, I'm going to start playing the other games." And the other games were just crap. But there is a, a remastered version of the first 3 for the PS4, which I do recommend if you want to get an Uncharted. Start playing those.
My
Because
problem with the Uncharted games is that's what Amy Hennig is doing now, and Amy Hennig was responsible for the vast majority of the Soul Reaver stuff.
She's not doing that anymore.
It's not.
Hasn't been for a long time. She got,
Oh.
she got kind of shit canned in Uncharted 4,
Ugh.
and they restarted that. And then she's doing her own thing now, but she hasn't really
Yeah.
done it for a while.
I don't know. As I said, like I was just bitter because I want an actual resolution to the Soul Reaver games, to the Legacy of Kain series, but that's never gonna happen. So
Maybe not.
probably not. Like I know that every couple years a rumor resurfaces of talking about redoing it and shit like that. Like I actually saw a rumor recently that the first Blood Omen game is getting remade, like not remastered, actually remade with today's technology. Which, like, I'll believe it when I see it, but man, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
You know? Especially if they just take the dialogue as is. Don't fuck with the dialogue. Because if you have them re-record it, they're gonna end up changing shit, and it's gonna fuck everything up, and I'll have to hunt people down. And I'm tired. I don't want to have. to hunt
You
people
is
down.
not trying to leave Indiana
Michael's
to
an
go
old man.
to do all that nonsense.
Michael's an old man. He ain't gonna go anywhere.
Uh-huh.
He's gonna say he's going someplace. But
Yeah.
He gonna get up and go to work and come back home and be like, I was supposed to murder, but I
drink
can't.
drink a beer. I'll be good.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I started up The Last of Us 2, played a little bit. I'm still in the
Good.
beginning. Like I said, it looks phenomenally gorgeous. And I'm hoping Naughty Dog has really fixed their gameplay and stuff. Because sometimes they're very iffy on their game, on their game control. But I like, I was at the point where they're kind of teaching you like when you are doing
Spoilers.
No,
I've
when
not
you-
played them, so
when you are like kind of like fighting enemies, you do a snowball fight, and so they're kind of like it auto targets on the enemy. So if you see the white thing that's on them, all you got to do is press the R2 button and you'll hit them. But I haven't got into any stealth anything. I'm still kind of like I said, literally in the beginning, but it's really, really good. I literally waited for Target to put the game out because I'm just like, I know if I get here at 9 or 10 o'clock, y'all not going to have this game ready to be out.
Right.
But
I
they,
in situations like that, I have literally tracked people down and make them go get it.
yes,
Like,
Yeah.
what was it? DVD, the DVD of the Warcraft movie, which is way better than people give it credit for.
It is.
But the day it was supposed to come out, Walmart was selling a steel case version of it, and I'm obsessed with steel books. So like I got there right after I got off work. It was like midnight 10, and of course it wasn't out. So I literally tracked someone down and go, "Fucking get this! You guys are supposed to have it out at midnight. Gimme!" And the lady got so pissy about it, but I got my fucking movie.
You got it though, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's completely fine. You're all good and stuff. I am doing also Shadow the Tomb Raider on PS4.
Okay.
Switch, I did Scale Attack. Infamous Second Son, I'm doing on PS4 too, trying to get through that. Scale Attack on Switch, and
Is that good?
I'm still in the beginning. It's good. It's okay. It's not mind blowing. I think once I play more and get more things, I think I'll enjoy it. But
Yeah.
it's
Is
good.
Is it Because I've been eyeballing it. Is it like just a platformer, or is it Metroidvania?
It's a it's a Metro Souls game, and it's not really a Vania, but it's a Metro Souls game.
Yeah, I'm
The six.
tapping out then.
Yeah, I'm out.
I say still give it a try. I think wait for a sale.
I'm not good. I'm not good enough for a Souls game anymore.
I don't have the patience.
It's pretty. It's almost like Dead Cells and stuff.
Okay,
But it's-
okay.
Oh,
But-
okay.
But it's nothing that's gonna like really be like that hard or anything. That's why I said it's like wait for a sale for it because it is a good game. Playing Shantae and the Seven Sirens. Playing Rise of the Tomb Raider on Xbox One. Trying to play I'm trying to play Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but I don't know where the town that I'm supposed to go to, and like the directions are just off. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
What are you playing
so,
it on? Xbox
playing-
One?
Yeah, I'm playing on Xbox One.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's a weird game. Like everybody gives it all this props for the combat, for the ship-to-ship combat. I found it incredibly difficult to actually get into. So that's just me.
yeah, it's
It
a
takes
weird-
it's weird. It takes some time for you to get into it.
yeah. I know I am because I finished Tomb Raider. I had played the first Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. I finished that. I really need to go back and just level up and get one more point so I can complete it 100% because I'm at 99%. But I did everything pretty much for it, and I beat it way many times.
Sure.
So I'm just like I'm playing Rise on Survival, so I'm like doing the hardest difficulty of it. So I'm making my way through that. Last but not least, I'm playing Darksiders, the War Master Edition on PS4.
Oh, like I had issues with that the cutscenes, the audio sync is really bad.
Yes, I noticed it.
I actually found out the Switch version does not have that issue. I actually specifically went through it on the Switch again just to find out if that was still an issue, because the audio sync issue will get worse as you keep playing, to the point to where some cutscenes will literally just cut out halfway through, and they never patched it. I was actually pretty pissed about that. I haven't played it on the Xbox One yet,
Mhm.
but like I'm pretty sure it had the same issues. But for some reason, yeah, the Switch didn't have that problem.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a lot of Sony's first party stuff done. Like, so Infamous Second Son and The Last of Us 2 I'm playing. And then I'll jump into Spider-Man, and I did Ratchet and Clank. I finished that. I think I got Bloodborne, but I don't really feel like going through that game. It's just not for me. I want to go through Neo over Bloodborne.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that.
Neo looks great, but I'm pretty sure I would get so frustrated with it, I just couldn't do it.
It's extremely frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah, those kind of games, I don't have the patience. Like, especially those moments where you got one hit left, and then the enemy looks at you funny and you fall over dead.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm done. I'm out. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
I did just pick up Nier Automata. I think I said
There you
that
go.
wrong.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I picked that up because I watched a video on YouTube about it that, like, I had no idea, like, what it was about. I just know it looks interesting. So I watched a video about it of someone talking. Basically, it's one of those, like, for people who don't know shit about this game. And it sounded interesting enough that I tracked it down. And, like, the Game of the Year edition, I mean, not Game of the Year edition, but the Definitive Edition or whatever the fuck it's called. And I haven't started it yet, but, like, part of me thinks that'll be next. But also, as I said, there's a handful of other things I want to try, and I just don't know if I have the energy to get into another long game like that, because I know in order to see the full story, you have to go through it multiple times, and
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but
Yeah, man, it's been years since I played Darksiders, and I'm just like, okay, I gotta remember all this stuff, because I was getting my tail kicked, and I'm playing it like on normal stuff. And I was just like, oh wow. But it's
Oh,
one of those
two
things.
hints. 2 hints. 1, you can block almost anything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, that's one of the best parts about it. It took me forever to figure that out because I was trying to dodge everything. Yeah, no,
And
you can
that's the
block
pro-
pretty much everything.
And you want to know why that's the problem for me? It's because of me doing DMC and
Yeah.
Bayonetta.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when you're doing a stylus action and not thinking that this
Uh-huh.
has it, but it's still action adventure game
Yeah.
like Zelda, you gotta remember that block, and I just keep forgetting that block button.
The other thing is the whirlwind combo is fantastic, and everybody overlooks it because it's a cheaper move. If your sword touches an enemy, they take damage from it, and the whirlwind combo attacks pretty much almost a 360 around you repeatedly. Most smaller enemies will be interrupted with every strike. So, you know, if you just keep using that, enemies won't actually really get close enough to you to hurt you. So,
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So that's pretty much everything I'm playing. Trying to work a lot of my backlog and definitely get the new stuff out the way. Cause I gotta get done with a lot of games before Paper Mario and Ghost of Tsushima to play out. Cause I'll be literally jumping back to between those two. It's going to be insane in July. But that's what we have been playing, everybody. We want to know what you guys been playing. You guys can let us know. On our Twitter page at World1_1 podcast. I want to know what you guys are playing. I don't think we have an email or anything just yet. So, or let us know on our Facebook page at World11 podcast. With that, everybody, we're going to take a break and we will be right back. Break. Welcome back, everybody, to World 101 podcast. We are going to be kind of deep diving and just having a general discussion about next gen coming forward. Now we got Series X. We see the conference that they showed future third-party games. We already knew how the box looked and some of the things that's coming out, like smart delivery. If you have a game that you bought on Xbox One, you could enhance it and play that game on Series X. We know that if your Xbox One controllers work on Series X, and more stuff is coming out of it. Now, only thing that we don't have at this time is we don't have a price for the system and a release date, and we also haven't seen Microsoft's first party showing. They're supposed to be doing one in July. Sony has revealed the PlayStation 5. They revealed some games for it from third, indie, and some first party ones. The reactions kind of have been mixed for a lot of people. The games look fantastic. We will talk about the system design though, because I have questions. But let's really jump into it. So we all seen the Series X presentation, correct?
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of the presentations. Like as I said, I've the only thing out of any of it I've seen is that when I found out there was they introduced the whole new Spider-Man Miles Morales, I watched that trailer. So that is the only thing I know about any of this.
Okay.
Well,
Other than like I actually looked up the price for the PlayStation, the PS5,
and they don't have an official one yet. So
yeah,
right. Well, I know like they're planning on the whole like one as a digital only version.
Yes.
Well, I think I think Microsoft is going to do that too, and they're going to come out with new ones.
I know,
and I think they're going to gut that thing in price, and they're going to make it super cheap.
Yeah, which I know that's the direction that the whole market eventually is going to go, probably within 10 to 20 years.
I'm not happy,
but I don't want that. I want physical stuff. I want a wall of games, you know? Like, what else am I going to dust? Come on.
Well, we know for right now, Series X has a disc-based system.
Series X, that's the new Xbox system, right?
Yeah, it's
correct.
Xbox Series X.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You know what? You know what's happening, right? They're going to make an Xbox Series S, Xbox Series D, Xbox, whatever they want. It's just called Xbox.
Right.
So,
but they trademarked the name. It's just Series X for
Yes.
this first release.
Yes.
So, they're gonna have the SSD. It's gonna be backwards compatible, I think, with all previous systems. Right now, though, I don't know how their backwards compatible system is going to work. If they're going to drip feed it, or you literally now could play everything from the beginning. Because if you think of backwards compatibility and you think of games, you could actually think of Wii and Wii U, where if you popped in the physical version, as long as you got the physical version, if you pop that in, you could play that game.
I would have
not
went with
so
like
much-
PlayStation 2, which is same concept.
Yes, PlayStation 2 still had the same concept of you being able to put PlayStation 1 games onto it.
Or the early version of the PS3.
Yes. So, well, and you can pretty much say like almost like the Game Boy Advance in a sense, because you were able to put the Game Boy games on there. What just in general, what do we think of Series X? Do we think that Microsoft has really made a powerful system and making great moves about the system?
I think it looks like a trash can. Like, that's honestly all.
That's literally, it looks like a trash can.
Yeah, it literally looks like one of those, pedal operated trash cans. Like, I don't know how physically big it's going to be. I know, like, it's gonna be a decent system. Like, that's, I don't know the specs. I don't pay attention to the specs on any of these systems. Basically, what's gonna happen is I'm not gonna pay attention to any of this crap until they announce a game that I'm gonna need to have, and I'm gonna look at it and go, okay, then this means I gotta hunt down this system. Chances are it'll be like Ori 3 will make me buy a fucking Xbox, so the new Xbox. So.
Well, I know for right now, if we're going to look at the first party for Xbox right now, the two leading games is Hellblade 2 and Halo Infinite.
Well, Hellblade 2 is exclusive?
Oh yeah, they
Yes.
own the studio.
They own Ninja. Microsoft owns Ninja Theory now.
Okay. For some, oh yeah, that's right. Because, lame. I still haven't played the first one. What am I talking about?
You should.
Yeah,
I know.
It's really
I
good.
bought it. I'm me.
trust me, I already own it on two systems, and I'm really thinking of getting it on Switch. Be like, I may have to buy this for a third time. But Josh, what did you think? Series X, just in general.
In general, I think, and I know this is not a popular opinion, but I think that Microsoft earned my money day one. And the reason they did is I love my Xbox. I play most of my games there anyway. Microsoft has shown me what I need to know. That my games are going to run faster, better, everything on that right now. They're going to have Halo at launch, which for me is it's a console, it's a buy-in on that. Sony has not shown me the games that I need to see at launch yet, and I'm gonna get both eventually. I'm not trying to like shit on the PlayStation 5. I just know that like Miles Morales, which is it's been confirmed. It's basically expansion to
which I don't like that concept.
Well, you know what it is. It's like dark. It's like the Uncharted game that came out. It's like the gosh, what was the other game that was? I'm just drawing a blank right now. The other game that was kind of like a half measure. The Far Cry game that came out. The Far Cry 5 kind of port, not really port, but like an interstitial game.
Yeah,
that came out after 5. So it's kind of this thing that, for me anyway, is that Sony is showing me, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get that system, but I want to see, Horizon 2. I want to see God of War 2. I want to see the big titles, and they're not coming for a couple of years.
Yeah, if they'd have said God of War 2, I'd already had that fucker pre-ordered.
Right.
Well,
But like I said, like it depending on I agree with you completely that they haven't announced anything for the Sony system.
Right.
That is like, okay, I need to do this right now.
I don't need to do a day one purchase. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I have so many games on my PS4 that I need to play that I know will run better on the PS5, but you know what? I already have the PS4.
Yeah.
I think depending on how you look at it, because I'm gonna hold on to PlayStation 5. I'll hold my opinion about that.
Okay.
Because I think what Series X, I was arguing this, that Series X, yes, I'm already gonna buy the system, but it doesn't have anything to show me why I need it. Only because you announced the games, but you haven't really shown me why I need those games. Hellblade 2 looks good.
Right.
And
that's coming out in a couple years. I mean,
right.
that's not now.
Right. Halo Infinite looks good, but I want to see what I'm actually getting into. Just doing a slow motion shot of the girl from Hellblade 2, and then her with her mouth looking open. I mean, that's a CGI. Okay, that looks good. We have seen multiple CGI cutscenes that really look good. Yep. I could put Shadow of the Tomb Raider CGI against Hellblade. That looks good. I'm like, but
I think what you're saying too is that this generation is different. It's not about the new shiny.
Mm-hmm.
It's about like, I'm gonna load your games faster. I'm gonna make that 1080p game. I'm gonna make that 4K. And I'm going to make that 30 frame per second game 60 frames. It's really hard to show it. And I think that people have to get it in their hands.
And that's another thing. Stadia has taught already don't have the 60 frames per second 4K. Microsoft did not tell everybody that when you're getting an Xbox One, you have to choose between frame rate or resolution. Right now with Series X, you cannot market this 40 frames per second stuff if you're still got games at 30 frames per second. If I have to choose something, even if it's the most powerful system, why am I still choosing to do frame rate and 60 frames per second? Why is stuff still stuttering?
And I think that we're going to see a lot of this when it comes to price. I mean, we're going to see this because this is the price. I mean, we don't know the prices yet, and that's honestly, I think both companies they're waiting because
this is the thing about it. I think the 4K 60 frame thing with the price and everything, I think that's more for first party. I don't think fully all of third parties going to be able to do it.
Absolutely. And you know what, I agree. One thing I was thinking about the other day was like, when you look at minimum specs on PC games, like for example, like the Assassin's Creed games or even Far Cry games, you're looking at these minimum specs, and they always say for PC, hard drive, 5400 RPM hard drive or hard drive. They don't even talk about SSD. So I think, honestly, and this is crazy, but I think PC is actually going to hold back these third-party games for the first time, because they're minimally spec'd for a hard drive, a mechanical hard drive, and all of these consoles, these two new consoles, are going to have SSDs in them. And we're going to have to live with that fact that if you buy a third-party game, that it's going to run at 30 frames per second in 4K, but it's going to run at 30 frames. And maybe if they patch it for a console, you're going to get a 60 frame per second experience.
But it's weird that you guys have this power. You said you needed this power to tell your stories. So why are you still doing it at 30
And I
frames?
think it's all about the mass market. It's about how many people are going to buy this. Because, I mean, I don't want to say it, and everybody doesn't want to say it, but, you know, the economy is kind of bad. There's a lot of people that would have bought these games, these systems, that just don't have the money right now to do it. And I think the first year and a half, adoption's going to be really slow. It's going to be slow.
Well, and Sony said not many of their systems are going to roll out. And I literally feel, because I feel like this, don't release PlayStation 5 this year. If you need to push it to March to next year,
they're not going to
do
that.
it.
They're not going to do it.
I know. But
and I agree with you, Eddie. They should. They should do it, but they're not going to because
they want Christmas money.
The reason is their third party is ready and they need to go. They need to get it on there.
But the thing about it is third party is not ready yet. who besides Cyberpunk is ready to go in that system?
Well, I think that.
I'm gonna rephrase that.
Okay.
Whose third party is ready to go on any system at this time? Because when we see EA play, they released that we haven't really seen the execution of their sports titles.
You're right.
We seen Rogue Squadron, but that's not into.
Well, that's
like,
not. But that's not even.
20th.
But that's not even next gen. That's this gen.
Yeah, that's this gen, but they're planning on putting it on. They said it's going to be
eventually.
On
Eventually, and you're right. It's not ready to go.
Well, wouldn't shit like that be like just a regular port anyway? Like if they're taking it from current gen to, they're just going to port it to the other gen and, polish it up a little bit.
Not so much,
but make people buy the same game again.
Not so much, because with smart delivery on Xbox One, when you pop it in, they're going to treat it like it's they're
going to give you the updated version, updated visuals, everything they got. So So if I buy Cyberpunk, which I'm buying Cyberpunk on Xbox One. The minute I put it in my Xbox One X, Series X, it's going to play like that game.
Right, it's going to play like that.
All right.
Yeah. So, and they're ready.
Actually.
Right. Yeah. And from what they shown at Series X game thing, the only one that I could really say that may be ready to go or they're working on is that anime Souls game from Bandai Namco. I cannot think of the name. I didn't write the names down. Everything else they showed was like.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Everything else they showed was like CG trailer saying
I know,
this is
2013 all over again. These companies are jumping the gun because they have shareholders. They have
they're scared right now, and the economy is garbage. So.
Well, I think what they're really scared about it's going to get worse later. So they're thinking if I don't release it now, it could possibly be worse later to release it. So I better do it now.
And then it actually depends if people are ready. Does everybody have enough money to get that 4K 60 TV, that HDR?
Right.
Are you ready and prepared? Because if you're not and you're still playing stuff in 1080, what benefit are you getting out of the
you know what, Eddie? You actually segue into a really good point. Is that there's a big rumor right now? I don't know about Lockhart for an Xbox, which is a 1080p gaming device that has a lower GPU. But same CPU as a Series X. And there's a crazy, it's crazy, but it's pretty substantial. And I want to say this rumor, I know Larry's going to edit this out because he hates rumors, but the rumor is that this console is going to be like $200. And it's going to play, $200 to $300, and it's going to play all next-gen games, but only in 1080p. So if you have a TV and you don't want to upgrade, but you want to play that next gen game, you can just do it on this, and it's an all digital version of a console. We need Microsoft so bad to say something if this is true or not, because this could be a game changer. This could light fire under Sony like you can't believe. And, Sony does not have the money that Microsoft has. So a company, if Microsoft's serious about winning. I hate console wars. I just love games. I just want to play games where they're good. That's it. I think it's good for all gamers for these two companies to be fighting it out.
I don't think it's so much fighting it out because everybody who's doing Microsoft may do Game Pass. I don't know, but people who are doing Sony's for first party. Switch is just for everybody, so we're getting everything from everywhere.
Yeah, Nintendo's the real winner here. Everyone has a Switch.
Right, and so
except Dylan, because he can't find one.
He's looking for one right now.
Yeah. And so it's just weird that I think Microsoft is on a great track. They just need, definitely with this new when they show the next reveal of games and stuff, I think if everything they're announced, people are going to be hyped for, but they have to show some gameplay.
You're right.
Running on the actual system.
You're right.
You cannot be in a state where this is running on our art engine for Xbox Series
No,
X.
you're right, absolutely. And May, when they did that last, I mean, they totally shit the bed. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a golden opportunity to show, and it looked like an Al Qaeda video. Looked like an Al Qaeda, like I was in prison in Al Qaeda in like Afghanistan or something. And I mean, the production level was terrible, and they did not show the right. I even have gripes. I mean, Sony did way better. I mean, I love Xbox, but Sony did better.
And this is the thing about, and we're going to jump into the Sony presentation because, Michael, I don't think you got anything else to say. Okay, so before we get into the Sony presentation, I really like the EA Play one. It was out of all past presentations, this one was good. And and give it to EA. Their the way they was doing the interviews and how everybody looks. Yep. Microsoft needs to take note. You are a software and hardware company. You should be able to give your employees this kind of equipment to have that kind of production.
Yeah.
There is no way that y'all looking like y'all in the Zoom or a Skype conference and it looks terrible at your very home.
I told you it looked like their Al Qaeda hostage video. I mean, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
The Pokemon Direct, the CEO or the president, his stuff at his home was laid out beautiful, and it looked really good. And it was just like, put some thought into it. Just be like, okay, yeah, we're Microsoft. Let's get some Xbox. Let's get some artifacts, some posters and stuff.
Right.
Let's make our stuff look presentable. No, you look like you're in your bathroom.
So a friend of mine who actually works for Microsoft says that they are very aware of what happened, and it is not going to happen again. So I just hope. No, exactly. No, I agree with you, Eddie, and I totally agree with you. But I think the internal discussions were, this is a third-party showcase. This wasn't this. I mean, I don't know 100% because I haven't asked the question. Part of it is I don't want to out my friend who actually I went to school with a long time ago, but I don't want to like out him as like this person that told me, this stuff. But also, it's like, did you guys not realize this was going to be shitty? I think they've been working from home for so long that they just don't get it. But now they do. They understand that everyone that's sitting at home is waiting for something great. We just want to see something awesome. Show us it.
Yes. So let's jump into Sony's presentation. The games that they showed
was great.
I think were great. I had a lot of must-haves with Sony's presentation that I did with Microsoft. Third party, I should say. I think Sony had a great mix of first indie and third. I actually predicted that Resident Evil 8
first, second, and third party. Actually. Yeah.
I predicted that Resident Evil 8 was going to be shown, and
it was.
It was shown, and Chris Redfield
looks old. It shows my age because I'm like, wow, he's old.
But is he good or is he evil?
No, I think at this point he's grizzled. He's the bad guy.
That's what I thought. Yes.
Yeah.
Horizon 2 looks beautiful, and the only reason is because they finally added color to that game in different areas. Like, this is a Zelda game. Like, I love the way that they're playing with the elements.
Yes.
And yes, she's going to the West Coast and everything, but
one of my problems with Sony games, first party games, is I love them. I love the stories. I love everything, but they're all the same. They're all this muted. I'm in this post-apocalyptic America. I'm in this, how long can I play that game? And this was that same thing. She was going to the West, the Forbidden West or whatever it's called. But it is the post-apocalyptic America, but it has more color. It has different gameplay. It looks a little different. It looks a little more like Zelda Ocarina of Time in a way where, like, we saw the underwater part of it, but I know that they're going to have more varied, landscapes and everything, which I'm all for. So, personally,
the first one always looked a lot like the Remember that game Enslaved on the PS3?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
what it was.
Yeah,
It's
it looked
exactly
a
what
lot
it
like that. And don't get me wrong, Enslaved was a fantastic
No,
game.
it's a great game.
Yeah.
It's a great
Yeah.
game, and I'm mad because I felt like that ending was a cop out, and I'm just like,
Agreed.
I want to hurt.
Yeah, agreed. That ending pissed me off.
Yeah, that is a shitty ending.
Yeah, but
The boss fight was terrible, but that
Yeah.
ending, I was just like, this. Yeah, I copped out. But
I would really love to see that game remade as like an open world type game. Like,
what the thing about it is that's Ninja Theory.
yeah,
Because
true.
Microsoft.
They do-
now.
Right. And so Bandai Namco would have to make it themselves.
Exactly, because Bandai Namco owns the IP.
Yeah.
It's like
Either way,
totally,
we're never gonna see anything else.
we're never
from
seeing
the series.
anything else.
Yeah.
No, it's
Mm.
over.
It didn't do well enough. Nobody gave a shit.
Nope.
Like I said, I don't even remember what drew my attention to it in the first place. But I ended up picking it up on a whim, and it turned out to be a decent game.
I think it was just because it was an action game from Ninja Theory, and it looked really good. It looked really interesting. And then when you know the history of Journey to the Journey of the West or Journey to the West,
I
Or-
don't remember.
Journey.
I know
to the West.
whatever it is
Yeah.
is what Dragon
Yeah.
Ball Z is based off to. I'm not a Dragon Ball fan at all, but
yeah, but like it's production and its characters and just in action. It was just like at that time, Ninja Theory was knowing that Ninja Theory and how they did Heavenly Sword. Coming off of that, you were just like, this game is fantastic. This game had its problems, and I know Sony probably was telling Ninja Theory what to do, but you could see the quality and the promise that Ninja Theory was going to bring to a game. And when Enslaved came out, you still continue to see it where they really poured their creativity and their design and what they know to do. And they weren't trying. I really feel like Ninja Theory wasn't trying to compete with Platinum. They wasn't trying to compete with Ninja
Right.
Team.
Right.
They really just like, we want to incorporate all of this stuff because this is how we feel like games can be at this medium. And I think them being ignored with DMC Devil May Cry, it was just like, you see the production and how good they are. So yeah, they did step away from the action game. They did come back with Bleeding Edge, but they stepped away from it and focus on what they do best, and that's production and telling story and stuff. And so that's how we got Hellblade. And I think because of that, we put Ninja Theory, I think there was low-key love for Ninja Theory, but I think Call of Duty and a lot of shooters outdid that. And it was an era with the 360 and PS3 that gamers were in a different, depending on what kind of gamer you were in a different time era than you were in now.
Heavenly Sword is another one that pisses me off that never went anywhere. Because like that one was so much better than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And like just the lore to the game alone blew me.
Uh-oh.
It's the fact that it kind of just got abandoned. You know?
Yeah. And Ninja Theory only could do what they could do, and this was I think this was their first game they ever made that I know. But for from Heavenly Sword to be their first game, and that production comes out and it looks that
Wait,
good.
that was their first game, really?
I think so. I've never
Wow.
heard of Ninja Theory 2 Heavenly Sword came out.
I don't pay a lot of attention to, like the publisher companies or whatever, but
Mhm.
like I pay attention to I pay attention to THQ right now because they're putting out Darksiders. I pay attention to Capcom because every so often Capcom does something I actually give a shit about.
Mhm.
But-
Yeah, Everything Sword was her first game, then Enslaved, then
Wow.
DMC, and
DMC was
Fight Back,
fantastic.
and then
too.
Hellblade.
Wait, what was the one right before Hellblade?
Fight Back.
Never heard of it.
No, I haven't either.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I really love that Sony presentation. Yeah, I think you can agree with me, Josh. And I know you said you didn't watch your mic.
Yeah.
Michael. But they really have. I think, Michael, I really want you to watch the Sony presentation
You
and
should.
watch it for really watch it for the games, because they offer a lot of stuff, and you really might be like, I can appreciate what idea that they're going for, because it was so diverse. There was a lot of variety, everything. Because Sony said that they were making PlayStation 5 for the hardcore players, and that messaging changed throughout some time, and it probably changed when they got different management in it, because it looks like nothing that they were trying to make PlayStation 5 to be. There's just a lot of variety for it. But the system itself for PlayStation 5
Looks like a fucking router.
yes, okay, so I will say this. The
Actually, you know what it
design-
looks. You know what it looks like. You guys ever watched a very old movie called Flight of the Navigator?
I
looks
heard
like-
of it, but I didn't
Oh,
watch
come on.
it.
Yeah.
Old movie. I'm gonna upload that, Eddie. I'm gonna send that movie to you. That was a movie I watched as a kid, and I love that fucking movie.
But it looks like
It was a
the
Disney.
part of the movie.
Was a
Yeah.
Disney like Sunday night deal
Yeah.
they had. Yeah.
There's a part in the movie where the spaceship kind of half changes, like morphs longer.
Yes.
That's what the PS5 looks like to me.
Wow.
No, the PS5 looks like a router.
Yeah, it very much looks like a router, though. But
Well, but I would say this: the digital version looks fantastic. I would rather go with the digital version. But if you was gonna do that design, that physical version looks like creepy, one of the thin little wrap things with just something thrown in it. Someone say it looked like a notebook binder with some.
I thought they both looked identical with the exception of the disc slot.
Yeah, they both are identical.
Okay.
It just doesn't have the disc thing. But with that design, that sleekness, the digital version looks better.
I
would
want to know, why did they go with with basically the white? Like, why is the initial version of it white?
I think because of the controller.
Because all I can see is that controller's gonna get fucking filthy.
Yeah, I can say this: if they would have took the white part off, it just would have had that black thing.
Yeah. Yes.
In the middle of it, if they just like still have the blue coming out, because that blue was cool. In the middle, have the symbols that's on the controller, and when you cut it on, that blue lights through those symbols.
Mhm.
And depending on what game you play, it changed, like just like the way that the PlayStation in the back, like it changes color and stuff. Have that little symbol change color and everything, and just like maybe do something if you get a trophy or something. Like they could have made it still sleek, and it still could have been big and sexy. But I'm like, that white part throws it off. You guys, they had I don't know, they just had a good look to it. Like I said, I am gonna get the PlayStation 5. I have nothing against the system itself
I'll definitely
or the
have
games.
The one thing I'm worried about is how they're gonna cool it.
You know?
Because I mean, I think the reason they elongated it is because they got a fan in there. But I want to make sure it doesn't sound like a jet engine taking off again. Because I had to buy a PS4 Pro from, like 2 years ago, the new revision, and it actually stopped doing that aircraft carrier noise. So I really hope that I can get a cool, like, just not super noisy console.
Well, I never tend to buy the initial version of a system anyway, because they still got
Right.
to work all the bugs out of it. Like
Yeah.
the exception is my PS3. I managed to get the backwards compatible version.
Uh-huh.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like surprisingly, that thing, I've never had any issues with it, and it's, as I said, I've had it since maybe a few months after it came out. But like, as I said, every other system I've ever bought, I always wait until they start working all the issues out of it and shit like that. The PS5, I'm hoping they're gonna put out a black version of it.
Yeah.
Because as I said, the white just throws me off so much.
Yeah. But overall, I like Sony's presentation over Microsoft. I like the Series X design of their box over PlayStation's design of their console. I think right now Sony's in a better position, leading with games that are a must-have, right, for me. because they show a lot and they got different range. Microsoft still improving themselves, even though like I said, I am buying it. I wasn't thrilled. I wasn't like blown away for it. They did a good job, but they just need to show more. And like the Ubisoft thing with Valhalla, that was just disappointing. That was gassing themselves up to let everybody down. Like that was just.
Isn't that what Ubisoft does, though?
Kind of, yeah, in a way. So,
I could tell you the last Ubisoft game I ever gave a shit about. Like, as the AAA, I tend to avoid a lot of the AAA publishers like that, just because,
Yeah.
you know, generally speaking, I just don't care. Like, as I said, I tend to go a lot with the smaller stuff, or certain franchises that I know the games, the series is good. As I said, like Devil May Cry, I pretty much buy automatically, shit like that. But overall, as I said, it's difficult to get me interested in something new at this point.
Yeah. They did a Pokemon direct, and pretty much, you know, they had a brush tooth game that, you know, brushing your teeth. I think Pokemon Smile, I think that's the name of it. That you play on your phone. A lot of people are playing it and enjoying it. But the big thing that came out of it was new Pokemon Snap. So, and then they got another direct coming for Pokemon that we'll see next week. EA Play that I mentioned earlier, they showed off some new games. They say Switch is getting 7 games for the next 12 months, including Burnout Paradise, which is out, and Apex Legends, which is coming this fall. I didn't really care about Apex Legends. I was just like, oh, okay. Great, something that you should have did. Oh, because
isn't Apex Legends kind of like Fortnite?
Yeah,
but
it's from
really.
Respawn. It's not like Fortnite, but it's kind of, it's a 3-on-3 battle arena thing.
Yeah,
in the Titanfall universe.
Verse, yeah.
I didn't know that.
The thing I think what I didn't really care for is like they really didn't have no enthusiasm. Like some of them, like even with the Skate one, like so Skate got announced. The one guy with the blonde hair who looked like a surfer dude, he was really hyped and really, you know, excited. And then the other dude was so corporate, which is like, yeah, we have Skate coming. We really had to get the team together, and it was so awesome. And it was just like, I believe you, Skater. Surfer dude, you're hype about this because you've been hearing and you've been wanting this thing. Corporate dude, you're just reading the lines because you're there. Lost in Random was that kind of the little girl with the dice, that kind of EA original game. A lot of people say a Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas, yep.
Yeah, and Coralina, which was good. They had that. Coraline. Sorry.
Yep.
They had that feel to it, and I'm like, this is a must-have for me. Like, It Takes Two from the one who made Brothers and A Way Out, and he did some movies I never seen or heard of. I was just like, this doesn't look interesting at all. So y'all gave him enough time to talk, whatever. They randomly went through some sports stuff. They talked about what EA's plans for the next generation and everything. And so I don't know what we'll see for that. They didn't have nothing BioWare related, which a lot of people were disappointed. That people really love the Sim stuff, like respected, like talking about inclusion, that everybody is feels welcome into the game, so anybody could play and stuff. But yeah, like out of presentation wise, this was a good presentation. Josh, any thoughts about the EA Play? Did you watch it also?
I did. I thought it was their best presentation in the last 5 years.
Yes.
Because EA does not do very good presentations for some reason. And they did a really good one. And I think we should all be excited if you like some of these games that are coming out, because they're going to be good.
Yeah. So, and the Switch thing was a cop out.
It was. I mean, there was a lot of things that were kind of off about it, but for EA, it was the best presentation they've had in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yes. And I think that Greg Miller, he is Greg Miller.
He's Greg Miller. Yep.
I think, and I got nothing against Greg Miller. I think he's a great person.
I think he's a good guy, and he does try to elevate people. You know.
Yes.
And he's not like always trying to hold people down. And I just don't personally always like the way he does it, but he's doing his best he can. You know.
Yeah. So I mean, I think a lot of companies are doing this Nintendo Direct style, and it's working for them. And so that's why, and like I said, that's why I feel like for this E3, like for this year, E3 should spread out this whole summer. And I know there's other conferences. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Like I didn't get to watch all of the IGN summer games. The Guerrilla Collective I didn't get to see. Like there are a lot of games and stuff coming out. There's still more presentations coming out. But overall, like what did you guys think of gaming now with all the reveals that's come out? Do you think they more needs to be shown, or do you think, or are you are excited that this is a great jump off and you just can't wait to see more?
Michael, what are you at?
There is nothing I'm waiting for right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like as I said, nothing has been announced that I'm actually like giddy about. I'm interested in the Miles Morales thing, but I have I'm waiting to see are they gonna update the because they said it's not a full game, it's an expansion.
Right.
So
it's a standalone, so it's not an expansion.
I'm wondering if what's it called? If the version I already have of the original is gonna get some kind of update type thing. No?
Here's the thing about this game. I really feel that happened. I think it was developed for PS4, and it was on track for a PS4 kind of interstitial release. And when Sony bought Insomniac, that all of a sudden jumped the shark to PS5 only. So we're going to see a game that has, great loading times, everything. It's only, it's going to be in that $40 price range, and it's going to be a great game, but it's not a full Spider-Man 2, and it's only going to be PS5. So I think that's going to be a release date,
a launch game
with it. Just like First Light was. But for me, that's not enough to get me to buy the console.
Not even close.
No.
As I said, as far as I know, nothing has been announced for either system that are absolute must-haves for me. So, I'm happy where I'm at. There's still, as I said, where I will have them probably both eventually, but until they announce something that starts that ball rolling for me, I don't care.
Well, I will ask you, or I will say, will you at least watch the presentations and just give us your thoughts about it at another time?
Send me a link, because I won't remember unless someone keeps poking at me.
Oh, I'll send you a link.
Okay, because it's just
if it's funnetparty.org, we have problems.
So it's pretty much just the Series X reveal, PlayStation.
Just out of curiosity, because you guys keep both freezing periodically.
Nintendo's YouTube page. It's Skype. It's very weird. So, but I think that's going to be it, you guys. I know we still got more to talk about, but we're gonna wait till more is revealed so everybody come on, because I want to hear Larry, Kathleen, and Dylan's point of view of what they think of next gen.
Oh, Zoe as well, yeah.
Oh, Zoe also, yes. She's new to the team, so we shall see what happens in the next coming month. But everybody, thank you for checking out World 11 Podcast. You can find us on Podbean. You can follow us on Twitter at World1_1. Josh, Michael, thank you guys for joining me. I have been your host this episode, Eddie V, and we will see you next time on 111 Podcast. Bye, everybody.
Did you just say 111 Podcast?
World 111 Podcast. Bye, everybody.
It all works out. We're good.